kidding me, law enforcement? Are you kidding me? Tonight in Grand Rapids, multiple law enforcement officers stood behind Donald Trump as he spoke. People that are elected officials like sheriffs, others hired to protect and enforce the law for the entire citizenry, not for a political party, explicitly forbidden from being a partisan authoritarian police force standing on stage, entirely unethical, probably illegal, on top of which Donald Trump has been indicted 91 times. He's liable for assault. His entire business was found to be fraudulent, and law enforcement has the gall to stand on stage with him. Enough is enough!
Yes, this guy is on something. This is not normal. 2016 is repeating itself.
I don't give a fuck if you're not into politics. I don't give a fuck if you've never voted before. I don't give a fuck if you don't even know the issues that are surrounding this year's election. If you live in states like New York, especially New York City, this is what I'm focusing on, in California, and not these swing states that they need people to come out and vote. I need you to hear me, because I know a bunch of people here who are fed up with the policies of New York City, who are fed up with what is happening to our city, the money being given away to people who haven't paid the fucking dime in taxes, everything. And they're worried about their kids growing up in this world. Let me be loud and fucking clear. Go register to vote and go fucking vote. This is the one. You're going to hear it every 4 years, but we see what's going on firsthand. And the last thing they're going to expect is for New York and California to turn red. So don't say, my vote doesn't matter, New York City's always blue. No, it fucking matters this time. So whatever they're planning, they won't fucking do it for New York.
When I look at the meltdown this guy put out on social media, it is concerning. He's on something. I can categorically say, now going into this video of Coleman, we recently saw what he did to Sunny Hostin, dismantle her on The View. He had this interview with Joe Rogan. I have 2 videos I'm going to play, so you will see exactly what is going on here. This guy is intelligent. At a certain point, he said, I'm not a Republican. They had to argue him on The View why he said that, because they have seen him in different occasions saying he's a Republican. Before we go into that, if you are not subscribed to this channel, please endeavor to do that. It will do you no harm if you share out this video.
As much as I admire someone like RFK for his charisma, in the sense that he's the only candidate that if he talks for 5 minutes off the cuff, I find it really compelling.
I think he's very honest. I think he's on, whether you agree with him or disagree with him, I think he's very honest, and he's also very well read in everything that he talks about.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of things that are very uncomfortable to discuss that he discusses openly and willingly. And when you look at that man's background, and this is a thing that people choose to ignore when they want to talk about him as a conspiracy theorist. This is the big one. They always bring up conspiracy theorists. That guy stopped the polluting of the Hudson River. I mean, he was a very effective environmental attorney that was dedicated to making sure that corporations couldn't just wantonly pollute things because it was more profitable for them to not pay attention to where their waste goes.
To it, but if true, it's very impressive. But beyond that, just in terms of charisma and speaking, nobody holds a candle to RFK, I think, who is neither Biden nor Trump, right? If you just say, give a 10-minute speech off the cuff, RFK is going to give a way more charismatic, way more interesting speech than either of them.
Yes, I believe you've seen Coleman. He had an interview with The View where he actually went off on Sunny Hostin simply because of this race-based topic. Now he had this with Joe Rogan where they talked about a lot of things, and he mentioned like RFK is more, articulating than Trump and Biden. When I looked through the comment sections on Twitter, I realized a lot of people were going off on him compared to what I saw with that interview with The View. Just because of this political statement that he tried to put out is bringing him the attentions maybe he never wanted. If you never saw that video with The View, I'm going to play it so you will see exactly what I'm talking about.
So a lot of people equate color blindness to I don't see race or to pretending not to see race. I think that's a big mistake. We all see race, right? And we're all capable of being racially biased, so we should all be self-aware to that possibility. My argument is not for that. My argument is that we should try our very best to treat people without regard to race, both in our personal lives and our public policy.
Of course.
And the reason I wrote this book.
Your argument for color blindness, I think, is something that the right has co-opted. And so many in the black community, if I'm being honest with you, because I want to be, believe that you are being used as a pawn by the right and that you're a charlatan of sorts.
He's not a Republican.
So how do you...
He's
who am I
never
being
voted for a
used as?
Republican.
You said that you're a conservative.
No, no.
No, you did. You actually said that in the podcast that you did 2 weeks ago.
I said I was a conservative.
Yes,
not.
yes, you did. So, but my
He's
question
not
to
a
you,
Republican.
my question to you is, how do you respond to those critics?
Okay,
that
let's give him,
believe-
let him answer. Yes,
First thing I think it's very important. The quote that you just pointed out about doing something special for the Negro, that's from the book Why We Can't Wait that I just mentioned.
Yes.
A couple paragraphs later, he lays out exactly what that something special was,
Yes.
and it was the Bill of Rights for the Disadvantaged, a broad class-based
But
policy.
he also says
okay?
you must include race.
When you take a look at this tweet, Coleman, hold his own on The View, calls out Sunny Hostin for her attempt to use ad hominem attack instead of debating his ideas, and he explained why being in favor of colorblind policies instead of race-based policies is more beneficial. Sunny Hostin spent her whole years in race baiting. Seeing someone going contrary to her ideas is something she's not impressed with.
So a lot of people equate color blindness to I don't see race or to pretending not to see race. I think that's a big mistake. We all see race, right? And we're all capable of being racially biased, so we should all be self-aware to that possibility. My argument is not for that. My argument is that we should try our very best to treat people without regard to race, both in our personal lives and our public policy.
Of course.
If you want to make it with The View or make them happy, don't just try like you want to bring people together. This idea of coexisting does not exist with people from The View. That is what I realized. But why? They share hatred. That is what they do here. I want to call this show the way it is. I don't want to sugarcoat. This guy came with this, notion like peace. We should be able to live together. But they don't like this idea. The book is bringing out, it is vital, important for people to actually see, because I like to admire someone that is trying to bring people together. When I see that you want to divide people the more, I drift away. I didn't want to react to this video, but when I see what he did, try to call out Sunny Hostin for what she has been doing for a very long time, I had to react. Why should we not coexist? That is a question. If you look at their way, the way they presented this is the only guy during this argument that is making rightful decisions or rightful points that people should listen to. They spend the whole time, race baiting, cashing out on it. I don't see that to be vitally important. Someone wrote, he is the only person who made any rational argument. The rest of them tried to discredit him, purposefully trying to shut him down. Everyone should watch this segment and call out this show for what it is: hatred, pure hatred. They sell it, like I said.